Hello and welcome to another Paper Stack Snackable. We are talking something today about title defects and how do you get these things fixed?
Scooby snacks, paper snacks. Yes, title defects. So these things can come in the form of broken chain of assignments or something as simple as the state of Georgia has changed their rules that says, how things need to be worded in the notary block, and if they're not done properly,
They get kicked back?
They get kicked back, and then you're stuck with title defects because now you've got a chain of assignment or an assignment of mortgage or assignment of deed of trust actually that's not actually legitimate, and if you're in court, it can get kicked out because they say, well, this is not done properly. So what do you have to do? Ultimately, what you have to do is you have to reach out to whoever messed up on the document and have them fix it. You have to get gap assignments occasionally, so in a gap assignment would happen where maybe there was an intercompany transfer, right? So maybe a company had had title to something and they wanted to move it to a different holding company, and they were going to sell it out of that holding company to one of their sell it to another party, and they've got the allonge that matches it, maybe they don't have the allonge, but there's no assignment in there. And this happens all the time. So you have to show the flow of title. You have to show it, even if it's an intercompany transfer. Maybe, it's Paper Stack owns it, and which we don't own any assets, but I'm just going to let's use a different company so there's no confusion. We don't want to confuse somebody.
Just say MWM Fund.
So MWM Fund owns an asset, and they're going to transfer it to another company inside of the intercompany transfer to Money with Meaning Fund 1, right? So MWM Fund has it. They said, look, we want to move it over to Money with Meaning Fund 1. You have to show, even though it's intercompany, same owners, you have to show the chain of assignments flowing. So it has to go an assignment of mortgage or deed of trust or assignment of seller's interest, whatever, from MWM Fund to Money with Meaning Fund 1, and then you have to have the corresponding allonge. Mm-hmm. And so those are just one of the title defects that could happen. And so usually what has to happen is you have to have somebody who's spearheading this, and you have to be reaching out to these companies. I've done it on my own in the past to where, the easiest thing to do is to correct the document the way you would like it to be, and then turn around and get somebody on the phone or get someone on email and say, look, here's a document I need signed. Here's why you need to sign this. Here's where you messed up. Here's a FedEx label to send it back to me. That's the fastest way if you're handling this on your own, because you're making their life easy.
Yeah.
Right? But the problem is if you're talking to somebody who's 2 or 3 runs up on the assignment chain, you could be talking to a hedge fund at that point. Mm-hmm. And they're going to be like, look, I don't know who you are. You're going to have to jump through hurdles, jump through hoops, produce documentation. The other option is hire somebody who does this, who does title curative. Casey Wilson is an example. Brown and Associates is an example. The thing is if that's what they do for a living, if that's part of the services that they offer, guess what? When it's time for them to go reach out to somebody, they probably already have a relationship. This is not the first time that they've talked to them. And I know that if I've had to do this before with people that I've done business with in the past that were, 2 or 3 spaces away in the assignment chain, and I was able to call and say, hey, I just bought one of these assets. You guys signed it. You guys misspelled the name. Send it over. Why? Hey, because I called him on the phone. I know him. We've done business together. If you've never done business with somebody, it makes it hard. The way around that is not only are you leveraging your time, you're leveraging a little money because it's super affordable using these companies, but you're also leveraging their experience, and it makes it where you're not having to do it, somebody else is doing it. And also, the companies that are correcting this, they're professionals at drafting these documents, at doc creation, at title curative. So they'll look for these issues, find these issues, and then they can fix these issues.
Interesting. Didn't know they did all that.
Yeah, they do. It's great. And that's why it's like, yes, there are title defects out there. You can use them for your advantage on the buy, and it's an easy way to add value. If you find a title defect when you're buying something and you point it out to the seller may give you a discount because you know what?
It's going to take some money for you to fix it.
It's going to take money to fix it, and it's a headache. And it is a headache.
Yeah, I know.
And that's what, a lot of times what you're in the business of buying is you're buying headaches. And if you get good at fixing headaches and you can master that, well, you can make money because you're creating value along the way.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, title defects, I don't mind them. I don't go out and look for them. I'm not searching for headaches. But when you come across them, you say, oh, I found this one. I like the asset. Here, I'll buy it. This is where I need it because this is the problem, or go fix it and then I'll come back and buy it at this price. Most of the time, if it's a reasonable offer, they're going to take it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are some title defects that are extremely difficult. Sometimes you can't fix them. There's sometimes like maybe a loan was not satisfied or was satisfied improperly. It shouldn't have been satisfied. Out of error, it was satisfied. You can do that, but you have to have your ducks in a row, go back and do some work. Sometimes there's satisfactions that are filed, like you'll have 2 loans recorded on the same house the same day, and one of them they wrote and there was a misspelling, so they went and they wrote a new loan, and then when they satisfied it, they satisfied the wrong loan.
Jeez.
Or they satisfied the loan and the loan numbers are one number off and somebody doesn't catch it and it shows up on a title report as like, oh my gosh, this loan has been satisfied. And you look at it and you go, no, it's not been satisfied. You actually, see the loan number, it's one number off or something like that. So there's tons of different things out there. Those become more of a pain in the butt to fix. But if it's just a misspelling on an assignment or something like that, usually if the company's still in business, you can get it.
What happens if the company's not in business?
There's certain things like they'll leave trustees intact, stuff like that. There's more hurdles to come over.
Wow.
It's a lot easier if they have a phone number and I can reach up and call them.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. So that's how you fix these title defects. Which all I heard was
hire a professional. That's what you should. That's what the takeaway should be.
That was the takeaway for me. Like,
Like,
oh wow, that sounds like a big pain in the butt. You know what?
Is.
I'm gonna hire somebody to do that.
You've drafted assignments, right? It's a pain in the butt, isn't it? Because you can misspell something or anything.
Well, I just look at the legal description alone. Like you get these legal descriptions that are like in all uppercase and like a paragraph that's like the size of a sandwich. It's
not something that it's an easy paragraph to read. It's
no,
like
it's
the north, south 56th degree of Township 109 in the 54th quadrant, and you think I'm joking. This is actually how they're written.
I know.
Township.
You might fall asleep before you finish typing it. It's hard because you're trying to look at a piece of paper or look at something and type it exactly how it is.
And you're typing stuff that you normally don't type.
Yeah.
Like south / or S/W 54 degree. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
So hire a professional. That's your snackable of the day. We could have made this one very short, a paper snack. This is more of a paper snack, long way around.
We kept it kind of good.
8 minutes is not, I like to be 5, but
yeah.
Anyways, long story short, hire a professional. Casey Wilson, Brown and Associates, Richmond Monroe maybe I think does this stuff, but there's other ones out there.
Yep. See you on the next one.
Thanks.